Hi, and welcome back to Macaron Monday, episode 3. So far we've covered two very different macarons. Week 1 was the classic chocolate macaron, which was super, just classic, plain, normal, just lovely all the way around. Week 2 was the matcha green tea macaron, which is a very exotic, sort of atypical, very opinionated sort of flavor. You either like it or you don't. This week is sort of similar. It's also going to be a sort of exotic flavor. It's also going to be sort of opinionated. You either love it or you hate it. And it's of course also sort of Asian influenced. It is the black sesame seed macaron. It's actually super delicious despite what it sounds like. Oh! I just dropped this. It's okay, I saved them. If you haven't tried it before, I advise you to not judge it by its name. It looks and sounds sort of weird. It has like black dots in it, and I don't know, it sounds weird, like black sesame macarons, really what? But if you haven't tried before, I totally advise you to try it before you make some opinion about it, because it is absolutely delicious. And black sesame is actually used in a lot of like Chinese desserts. It's used in like rice balls as a sweet filling. It's just used in desserts all around, so it's definitely not as strange as it sounds. Yeah, so go ahead and try out this video and let's get started. So as always, mix together your almond meal and your powdered sugar. Then we're gonna add in our pinch of salt and our ground sesame seeds. This is if you can't, will you stop it? If you don't have just ground sesame, you can just buy whole sesame seeds and grind them yourself. Just put it in a blender, blend it until it's nice and powdery. It might stick in clumps, which is totally okay because we're gonna sift it anyway. But yeah, so we've mixed together our almond meal, our powdered sugar, our salt, and our sesame grind, and just make sure that's nice and even. Then go ahead and set that aside and bring out your eggs. Separate your whites from your yolks. As always, you don't want yolks in your whites. If you get any in there, you have to discard it because it will not rise properly. And then go ahead, add in your powdered sugar and just whisk attachment it until it is nice, stiff peaks. Yeah, and you're gonna whisk on a medium-high speed. Once your eggs are the right texture, go ahead and sift in your dry ingredients. You do not want to have any big chunks in there, so anything that doesn't go through the strainer, either discard or stick in a blender and continue processing until it's nice and fine. And then once your dry ingredients are in there, just go ahead and fold that into your egg mixture until you get a nice molten texture that when you lift a spatula out of your bowl, it should ribbon in kind of clumps, but still ribbon, and it should kind of slowly flow back into the shape of the bowl. Then just scoop that all into a piping bag fitted with a nice circular tip and pipe it into quarter-size mounds on either parchment paper or silicone baking sheets. And go ahead, bang your sheet on a counter a couple of times just to let your macarons flatten out and let the air bubbles rise out of your macarons. And now you have to let them sit on the counter for at least 30 minutes, or if it's very hot and humid, probably more. You can always put it under a fan to increase the speed of the drying. What you want is for the macaron shells to not break when you touch them. It should not stick. It should remain as a nice skin over your macaron. And yeah, if it does break or anything, then it will definitely break in the oven, and you do not want that. While you wait for your macarons to dry, it is probably a good time to preheat your oven. I like to use 303 degrees Fahrenheit. You might need to test your oven to see what your ideal temperature is. When your macarons are all dried out, go ahead and pop them into the oven for 18 to 20 minutes. What we're looking for is for your macarons, when lifted off of the pan, to only leave a little crumb, like little bits of crumbs on there. Basically, once you take them out of the oven, they will continue to cook from the heat of the pan and the heat inside the macaron, and will completely cook your macarons so that they do not stick at all to your baking mats. While you wait for your macarons to cool, it is a good time to make the filling. We are going to be making another buttercream filling. So if you made the one from last week, you know how to do that. It's just slightly different because different flavor. but basically make sure your butter is at room temperature. Go ahead and mix that with a whisk attachment on medium speed until it's nice and fluffy. Then go ahead and sift in your powdered sugar. Make sure it's combined nice and evenly. And while it's mixing with the powdered sugar, I suggest you mix on a lower speed, just so that you don't pump a lot of air into the thing and create big air bubbles. Then go ahead, add in your vanilla, and if necessary to thin out your buttercream, add in your heavy cream. And then in the very end, take a tablespoon and a half of your sesame grind and add that in to your buttercream and just fold or mix it in until it's nice and evenly spread out. It's okay if it's sort of grainy because your sesame is grainy to begin with, and it just really adds to the texture because sesame is supposed to be that way. So it doesn't matter if it feels grainy in your mouth because that's how it's supposed to feel. Then when your macarons have cooled, just fill your buttercream into a piping bag fitted with a similar tip from before and just pipe a little mound on the center of a macaron sandwich, 2 cookies together, and there you have it, a whole macaron cookie. It's nice and delicious. Yeah, so they're nice and delicious, and now we are completely done. And that's really all for today. If you like this video, as always, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, it means the world to me. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Instructables. My username for all of them is JoshPanCooking, so super easy, go and check those out. And that's all. I love you guys. You're always here for me, and I love seeing your comments and your photos that you send to me. And yeah, without further ado, I guess goodbye, and I will see you next Monday with another Macaron Monday video. Bye!